What is up, everybody? My name is Viola. I am the host of the Cerebral System here on YouTube. On this channel, TransenDID, we talk about DID content, mental health content, we do vlogs, and gaming. But the primary thing here is, of course, DID, as is the name. So today, we're going to be talking about Introjects, or others based on famous people. As always, I have my phone because my memory is terrible. I always have to reiterate this. Because honestly, I don't know what I would say if I didn't have this open. So, here we go. Introjects. Like authors based on fictional characters, or fictives, or people known to the person with DID, these authors are internalized representations. They are rarely described by psychotherapists and psychiatrists, except when referring to survivors of ritual abuse. Examples of military political abusive groups include child authors who believe that they are Hitler, famous doctors, generals, and/or military leaders. There may be several authors who each believe they are the actual person they are based on and are unaware of one another. A good example of this is several Hitler authors in the same person. In ritual abuse with religious beliefs, authors may believe they are Jesus or supernatural beings like God or Satan. Unsurprisingly, a person who has an alter claiming they are a famous person may be misdiagnosed as having schizophrenia or a psychotic disorder because claiming to be a famous person is considered a delusion. Psychotherapist Alison Miller gives the highly unusual example of a person who developed alters that were copies of Axl Rose and the rest of the Guns N' Roses band, and was misdiagnosed with schizophrenia as a result. In DID/DDNOs, however, an alter can adapt their belief if represented with clear evidence that they are not that person. For example, that Hitler is dead and the Nazis lost the war. Note: delusions can also exist in people with DID/DDNOs if they have a psychotic disorder or schizophrenia as well. So essentially, it's kind of hard to dictate these ones, from what I'm gathering. Honestly, I don't have one of these, and I'm kind of happy that I don't. I'll be 100% real with you. I'm not saying anyone who does is any less valid or anything, or that they're crazy or anything. I'm just saying that I'm really glad that I don't, because I don't know how I would deal with it. Personally, dealing with an other that believes they're somebody from history, or they believe they're a famous person, can be very tricky, as noted by the examples I gave you. It can be disastrous if you try to they try to front and claim that they are that person. And it can be seen as a delusion. Now, I want to make note that it said that many times it's misdiagnosed as schizophrenia, and I think I've mentioned this in a previous video, that a lot of times that DID is misdiagnosed as this due to, the voices. Because sometimes with DID, you'll hear them through, your actual hearing, you'll hear them in your mind. It is very person-to-person basis, which can lead to misdiagnosis. I do have a little bit of personal experience with misdiagnosis. Obviously, I've talked about it several times, being misdiagnosed as bipolar. However, there was a therapist who said that they assumed I was partly schizophrenic because I was hearing my others, or I was borderline on that one. Obviously, it turned out to be false. However, she then fixed it to say bipolar with psychotic tendencies, which I do not have. She wanted me to seem crazier than I was. That being said, it is not uncommon for someone with DID to get the wrong diagnosis, to think the wrong thing, or to immediately jump the gun and think, oh my god, I have schizophrenia, I'm hearing things. However, as noted at the end, it is possible to have DID and these issues. I don't have any experience with those sorts of things. I don't think I've ever really... I don't know anything about schizophrenia. I will do my research a little bit more into that. As far as I know, it goes to simply hearing voices to extremes where the person is suicidal. That's the extent of my knowledge on schizophrenia. I do want to note that I don't really know what DDNOS is. DDNOS. I'd say DDNOS because my brain can't process too many letters. I apologize if that was the wrong terminology I used. But I was trying to, make sure I don't drag out this whole thing too long. But DDNOS is something that I am going to look up right now, because now I am actually curious. Give me just one moment. Let's see. Okay. So I just looked it up. Dissociative disorder not otherwise specified. Pretty straightforward. It's a mental health diagnosis for pathological dissociation that matches the DSM-5 criteria for dissociative disorder, but does not fit the full criteria for any of the specifically identified subtypes, which include dissociative identity disorder. Okay. So basically, it just means that it's not really specific like DID is. I am very sorry that I did not know that. I want to reiterate again, I'm still learning. That's kind of why I'm doing this series, to help me learn, to help other people learn. And I really hope I didn't offend anybody by saying DDNOs, because the way my brain works is a little odd. Sometimes I will see clumps of letters and I'll try to make it into, it'll try to make it into a whole word. And the part of that word that popped up was nos. And that's kind of what happened. And this isn't the first time that's happened with me. I'm not really sure why my mind does that. Maybe I'm thinking too fast, or I'm trying to do too much at once. But getting back to the DID topic at hand, honestly, it's not really surprising to me at all that there are people who have, others based on celebrities, based on famous people, because there are people out there with this disorder who think highly of one person, and sometimes that can transfer into your system through you, and it's kind of like how your brain creates your system in a way. I guess at least that's how my interpretation of it. I might be completely wrong. I am not a licensed therapist. I want to point that out. So I'm just sharing information that I have, and I'm learning as I go. But anyway, that's really all the info I have. I don't have any personal experience. I'm saying that again to really drive the point home. And I just wanted to kind of educate people on some stuff while I learn too. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you stopping by. I always do. If you like what I do here, like, comment, subscribe, all that good kind of stuff. It really helps me out a lot, especially with this algorithm. It is a mess. Remember, you're beautiful, you're valued, you're important. That is very, very, very important to me and everyone up here. And I'll see you in the next video I make. So until then, goodbye.